So my first question to you guys is, what are rates, or what is a rate? You can put it in the chat. If you want to raise your hand, you can raise your hand, but I want to know what is a rate, or what are rates? When I say rates, what do I mean? Omfa? Omfa, you there? There we go.
Ma'am,
Yes.
rate is a comparison of two quantities of different kinds.
Good. So a rate is, out your English, is us comparing two values, but now with different units, or different types. Exactly as we said here. So very importantly, guys, unlike a ratio, a rate is one where the units are different. And that's going to be very important when we start looking at our rates and how to do it. So exactly as Teto said, it's like a ratio, but now our units are different. Now, one of the most common, one of the most used examples of rate is speed. Because what speed does is it takes a distance traveled and compares it to the time it takes to travel that distance. And so what we end up getting is a rate of kilometers per hour. Speed tells us how many kilometers were traveled in 1 hour. And so that's essentially what a rate does. It compares two values for us. Another example of rate, which we use quite a lot just like day to day, is an idea of unit price. Now, unit price basically means if you go to like the shops or something and you buy a bag of potatoes or fruit or meat or whatever, often what happens is there's like a little stick on the packaging and it'll say unit price or rands per kilogram. And this is another example of a rate. It's telling us the cost of whatever it is per kilogram, per liter, per meter, whatever it is that we're talking about. And often in costing, we use rates. So if you think about, if you buy material, you buy it per meter and it will cost a specific amount of rands per meter. If you buy meat, you buy it per kilogram, it'll cost a specific amount per kilogram that you buy. And so the key word here that we need to be taking away whenever we are dealing with a rate is this idea of per. So whenever we see the word per, what we need to know is that we're dealing with a rate. Okay, so I'll let you take a screenshot of that if you want, but otherwise we're going to jump into some examples. Now, guys, there's lots and lots of different examples of rates. Like the second you start comparing two things, you've got tons. So there we go. Speed limits, interest rate, crime rate, profit rate, unit prices, temperature changes. There's so many. So
That's true.
I can't give you all of them, but that per word, if you see per, you're looking at a rate. All right, so let's have a look at an example here. So we want to write the following as a rate in its simplest form, but let's first actually understand what's going on here. This little hash sign means per. So this is saying rands per kilogram. And the second I see per, or the second I see that little slash hash, I never know what it's called, I know I'm working with a rate. This is asking me to determine how much it costs for 1 kilogram. So I know that 4 kilograms cost 206 Rand. I want to know how much 1 kilogram costs. What that essentially means is that I now need to get from 4 kilograms to 1 kilogram. And the way for me to do that is to divide by 4. But if I'm going to divide that value by 4, I also need to divide my rand value by 4, Because if I'm going to change one, I need to change the other in the same way. Otherwise, I'm changing the meaning of what my information is. And so when I divide 206 Rand by 4, I get 51 Rand 50 cents. And so now I've got a rate per kilogram. I can now say that it costs me 51 Rand 50 cents for every kilogram that I buy of whatever it is that I'm talking about. And this is now, as I've said, my rate. It is the Rand value per kilogram. Now, excuse me. If we give you brackets, so over here I said rands per kilogram. If I give you these brackets, this is actually giving you a clue of what to do. That hash sign implies division. So this is actually telling you to take the rands and divide it by the kilograms. So it's telling you to take 206 Rand and divide it by 4 kilograms. And that will give you your answer in rands per kilogram. And so that's where we get our 51 Rand 50 cents per kilogram. So you can do it either way. It really doesn't matter how you choose to work with this. But what you need to remember is that this second value, whatever that is, that should always be 1. So per 1 kilogram, per 1 meter, per 1 hour, it needs to be 1. And that gives you an idea of how to divide. Right. There was just a question of going back up quickly to take a screenshot of the notes. So here it is if you need to take a screenshot. Don't worry, I will come back to that example. All right, I'm hoping you've got screenshots. What I want you guys to try now is the second example that I have here, where I'm asking you for a rate of rands per hour. So I have told you that you get paid 750 Rand for 8 hours of work. I want to know how much you get paid per hour. Kanye, it is divided by 4 because I want for 1 kilogram. I'm currently working with 4 kilograms. I want 1. So to get 4 to 1, I have to divide by 4. So I divide our values by 4 to get for 1 kilogram. So guys, you need to use the same logic here when we want to work out how much you get paid for 1 hour. Pop your answers in the chat and let's see what happens. Because that's what we've just done, a rands per kilogram. So have a look at example A. That is a rands per kilogram calculation. So this question is asking you your rands for 1 hour. Rands per 1 hour. I have given you the rands for 8 hours. I want for 1. Oh, okay, so Kotaso, if we want kilograms per rand, we would just swap the division. So then, while you guys are busy doing this, so if I said, absolute chaos. So if I asked you for kilograms per rand, this is telling me to take the kilograms and divide it by the rands. So I would take my 4 and divide it by 206, and that gives me something. So that gives you 0.02 kilograms for 1 rand. So it's telling you how much you can get for 1 rand. So you would just swap the division. I hope that helps. Right, very nice, guys. Would anyone like to raise their hand to explain how they did question B? Chantal?
Good evening, ma'am.
Hi.
Hi, ma'am. I said 750 rands divided by 8 hours, and I
Perfect.
got 93.75 cents.
Good. Excellent. So guys, exactly that. This is telling me the rands per hours is telling me to take the rands and divide it by hours. That is exactly what Chantal did. 750 divided by 8 gives you 93 Rand 75 cents per hour. Now think about this. This is if you're working a job that pays an hourly rate. You want to know how much you're going to get paid per hour so that you know how much you're going to get your English, so that you know how much you make when you work 7 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, 40 hours, whatever the case is. And so this is like, again, a real world application when we get to things like wages and hourly wages. How much do you have to work? So how many hours do you have to work if you want to get a certain income? And then knowing an hourly rate is very important. Well done, grade 8. Let's try another one. So make that a touch smaller. I now want a rate of kilometers per hour. Now we all know kilometers per hour is speed, but let's just think about this. I want how many kilometers we travel in 1 hour. I've given you that 9 kilometers is traveled in 3 hours. So what is our rate there? Remember your units. It should be kilometers per hour. We always need to have units with rate because unlike a ratio, the units are different. So we need to know what units we're working with. Right, anyone want to raise their hand to tell me how they did it? Litesh? Oh, I think yeah, there we go.
You need to divide by 3, then say 9 divided by 3, then it's 3 kilometers or hours.
Perfect. So guys, this is telling me to
done.
take kilometers divided by hours. That's exactly what we've done. And so we get an answer of 3, and that is telling me a rate of 3 kilometers per hour. Now that you know that every single hour that you travel, you're going 3 kilometers. So now I could ask you, okay, well, how far do you travel in 5 hours? If you know that 1 hour is 3, you would just times that by 5 and get 15 kilometers. So once you have a rate per hour, per kilogram, per whatever, you can go and work out other things from there. Good, grade 8, you're on a roll tonight. Right, I'm going to just take a second, make this a bit smaller so that you can screenshot before we carry on with more examples.
Y'all are on net. You're on net today, my people.
Okay, so screenshots. While you're taking screenshots, guys, if anyone has any questions, now's the time to raise your hand. But do remember that as we go along, you're welcome to put questions in the chat, as you've seen other people do. And we will help you. Okay, good, grade 8, well done. All right, so seeing as we're clearly on it tonight, I want you guys to try those two. Oh, I don't know why all of a sudden it starts at A again, but anyways, this should be B. I want you to try these 2 questions for me. So question B and question C. You can put your answers in the chat. Let's see what we come up with. I don't want to see any hands just yet. So question B says 25 meters of fabric costs 950 Rand. How much does the fabric cost per meter? So this is the rate that I'm wanting. Cost per meter. That implies Rand per meter. Question C is saying determine the price per kilogram for oranges sold at Checkers. Price per kilogram, Rands per kilogram. Again, it is a rate that I'm asking you to find. So let's see what we come up with. Remember, as you put your answers in the chat, label them B and C for me so that I know which is which. And just in case you can't see, because I'm now realizing as I've made this a touch smaller, whoops. for question C, there is a price for the oranges. The price, or this information here, is saying it costs 34.99 Rand for a 2-kilogram bag of oranges. Remember your units. Again, it is a rate. We're looking at different units. So we have to put our units in our answer so that we know which number or which value corresponds with which unit. And guys, essentially, I've given you the units. I've told you it'll be rands per meter and rands per kilogram. Just while we're on the whole rands thing, whenever you work with money, generally what we do is we always round off to 2 decimal places unless the question tells you to do something specific. So money is always 2 decimal places that we round off to, unless your question specifically tells you to round off to something else. Oops, sorry. I really hate this new update with the pens, but anyways, we live and we learn.
You're not the only one. Lee was also complaining about the same thing.
Yeah, it's annoying. Oh, and then I did that. Sorry, grade 8s. Again, guys, your answer should be a rate. So there should be that slash somewhere. It's per something. Right, would anyone like to raise their hand to explain how they did question B? Releboga?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Afternoon.
Ma'am, I said 950 over 25 equals 38 per meter.
Perfect. So we take the rands, we divide it by the meters, and we get a rate of 38 Rand per meter of fabric. And this again, guys, means that if I now ask you for the cost of, let's say, 5.5 meters, because you know the cost of 1 meter, it's easy enough to work that out. You would take 38 Rand and you would times it by 5.5 meters. So once you have a rate, further calculations becomes a lot easier. So this would be 209 Rand if you're interested. 209. Good, Relebocha, well done. Teto, would you like to help me with C?
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am,
Hi.
for C, it was 34.99 for 2 Ks. So it's for 2 kilograms. So to get 1 kilogram, I'd have to divide 2 by 2. So I divide 34.99 by 2, which I got 1 for 17.49.
Good. Okay, so 17, I think it was 495 cents for 1 kilogram. So guys, just quickly in terms of the rounding, if we wanted to round that off to 2 decimal places, essentially we want our number to stop after 2 numbers after the comma. That therefore means that we look at the 3rd decimal place. So remember, if that is 0 to 4, so if it's a number between 0 and 4, our value after, or the decimals, stays the same. However, if that number is between 5 and 9, that value will round up. So this is currently 49. The 3rd decimal is a 5, so this will round up to 17 Rand 50 cents per kilogram. Well done, Teto. Very nice. Right, I'm just gonna wait there in case anyone wants to take a screenshot. Litesh, Motabang, and Umfa, your hands are still up. Please remember to lower them. While everyone's taking a screenshot, if anyone has a question, now is the time to raise your hand. Otherwise, we're going to have a look at one more before we take our brain break. Well done, grade 8s. Guys are on it. And you're listening, which I appreciate. So well done and thank you. Motabang, question?
Ma'am, sorry I was late.
That's okay. Remember that the lesson will be recorded and the recording will be on the website, okay? So you can catch up what you missed.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
Right, sugar beans, let's have a look. So question C, we often like to ask as well. We like to ask speed questions, and we often like to ask like water from a pipe drain situation questions. I don't know why we like to ask these things, but we do. So let's have a look at question C and let's see how we go. So the question says the water in a bathtub drains at a rate of 16 liters per minute. So I have been given a rate here that tells me every minute I drain 16 liters. Let's just write that out in words. So every minute, 16 liters is drained. And that's my rate, 16 liters per minute. The average bath uses 100 liters of water. How long will it take for the bath to be completely empty? Give your answer in minutes and seconds. So let's just visualize this. I mean, if you're not a visual person, that's cool. You don't have to visualize it. Here's my bath. We know that my bath at its maximum capacity is 100 liters. And I want to now drain this water. Here's my beautiful drain. I know that every single minute, I'm draining 16 liters. So I need to figure out how long it's going to take me to drain all 100 liters. So give it a try. Let's see what you come up with. I've got 100 liters. My bath drains at 16 liters per minute. I need to know how long it's going to take to drain my bath. Give it a try. I have said give your answers in minutes and seconds. We can get to that. Let's just get some sort of answer for now. Yeah, Umfa, very, very close. We're going to chat about that whole second thing in a second, but well done. Teto, nice, well done. Some of us are clearly a bit more comfortable with time. Yes, grade 8s. Hey, don't even need to teach you. You guys can teach me. Well done. Right, who wants to raise a hand to explain what it is that we need to do to deal with this lovely question? Lunufefe, help me out here.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
So I said 100 liters divided by 16 liters.
Good.
And then
And you
I
got it.
gave 6,25.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So guys, let's just discuss this answer. Because our rate was 16 liters per minute, That means that the time I'm getting is automatically in minutes. So this is 6¼ minutes. Now again, if we think about our time, we know that 1 minute has 60 seconds in it. And so if 1 minute is 60 seconds, 1/4 of a minute is 15 seconds. So this decimal over here represents 15 seconds. So when I said give your answer in minutes and seconds, we've got 6 full minutes and then 15 seconds. So we just need to be careful with time. The decimal doesn't translate exactly to seconds. We need to put it in the context of how many seconds are in a minute. We did chat about this. I want to say on Monday, in my brain, we spoke about this on Monday. If you take the decimal part of this answer, so the 0.25, and you times it by 60, remember what this is going to do is if you go from, yes, if you want to, okay, I'm just causing chaos. Let me try that again. If we want to go from minutes to seconds, which is what we want to do here, what we want to do is we want to times by 60. So if I take that decimal and I times it by 60, I'm going to get 15 seconds. And so that's where the second portion comes in. So just be careful. 0.2 or the 0.25 doesn't mean 25 seconds. It means 1/4 of 1 minute. Let's maybe write that down. It's only gone very dark in my room, but anyways. So this is 0.25. So this means 1/4 of 1 minute. Well done, grade 8. On the ball tonight. Runofefo, thank you. Well done. Right, guys, take your screenshots. So we're going to have a little brain break. And then we will carry on with some more questions. Motabang, is your hand up for a question?
No, ma'am. Sorry, I forgot.
No problem. Don't stress. Okay, grade 8. Brain break. I'm just doing it a bit smaller so that you can see the joke if you want to see the joke, but I'll make the brain break bigger now in a second. Remember, guys, we want to wait and see who gets the correct answer first, and then they will explain it for us. So put your answers on the chat, and the first one that we see with the correct answer, we will call your name and we will ask you to explain it.
Yep, let's see who's going to be the winner of the brain break today. I see Keisha with some example there. So let's go, my people. We can do this. And the joke there, did you guys get it? What did the witch say after lifting the curse? Hexagon. You guys get it? I didn't get it. Like, I had to think about it quite a lot until I got that joke. Okay, so hopefully you guys got the joke. But yeah. So let's go, guys. We are finding basically the answer to the question mark. Okay, so just try and do it on your book first. I see Keisha is really helping y'all on the charts. So y'all need to figure it out first on the book and then put the final answer. And whoever gets it first gets to be the winner of today's quiz day. And also, I mean, sorry, the Brian the Brain. Who was, yeah, oh, y'all were grade 8s who was saying those kind of stuff, not you guys. But anyway, the grade 8s of last year. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is that you'll find the final answer. If you're the first person to write it on the chat, we'll call up on your name so you can explain to us how did you arrive to the final answer. How did you get that correct? Okay, my people. So let's go. I see Woody. Let's go, Woody. Your focus. Chantel also. Nice, my people. Rachel also. Lethesh also. Let's go. Guys, so far I haven't seen the correct answer. Okay, so I'm looking for a final answer. I'll let you know if it's correct. It's not 188. Let's go. Keep trying, my people. Just remember, calculate step by step. If you do it step by step, you'll definitely win. Don't rush it. You will definitely win. Nope, none of those answers so far. Let's go, guys. We have about like 2 minutes left. If not, y'all gonna do this for homework. You're gonna have fun with family since it's holiday. You're gonna ask them and they're gonna help you. Nope, that's not the answer. I haven't seen the answer yet on the charts. I haven't seen the correct one yet. None of those ones are correct. Nope, my people.
Hi.
Oh, Pando, you were so close. Nope.
Do not start guessing now. You actually need to
Please,
explain
guys,
it.
don't guess, because if you are guessing now, we actually gonna give it to you as a homework. So please don't guess. Try to calculate it, and also whoever gets it right, either way, you need to explain to us how did you get it right. Oh, Dintle was so close. Don't guess, guys, because you will have to explain to us how did you get to the correct answer. Okay. So guessing won't help you in this case. But let's go. Let's see who's going to be the winner. Let's see, my people, my geniuses. Look at y'all. Y'all are doing amazing work. If you take it step by step, guys, you will get it right. Whoa, Dintle, yay! Dintle is our winner.
Nice.
Dintle, do you want to raise your hand so you can tell us how did you get it? Why do I feel like Dintle is like, ma'am, I just guessed the answer? Because the Dintle doesn't want to raise the hand, and now the screen, the camera is off. Who else? Who else?
There you
got
go,
the correct-
Dintle. Yay.
Is she here?
Yeah.
Hi,
Hand up.
Dintle. Tell us, how did you get it?
I guess.
Okay, Dintle, no problem. I see Litesh wants to give it a try, so we're gonna open Litesh to give it a try. Dintle, you can't guess. You need to work it out. Nice try, though. Litesh, do you want to give it a try?
Yes, ma'am. So
Okay,
remember,
let's
the
go.
apples are 6.
Good.
Okay, the cherries, yes, I agree.
And grapes are 7.
Okay. What about the kiwi fruit?
It is 10.
Good. Well
Let's
done.
go. Getting there. Let's do this, Litesh.
So what is
And
the
then-
last one?
The last one, it's 20 plus 7 times 12. Then it's 104.
Yes,
Good.
go. Well done.
Litesh, do we do the multiplication first or do we do the addition first? What does BODMAS tell us to do first?
We need to first start with multiplication, then addition.
Excellent. Good.
You did it. Well done.
So guys, we have to do this multiplication first and then only do we add. And that gives us the 104 that we were looking for. Well done, Dintle. Very, very nice. Okay, I'll leave this up in case anyone wants to take a screenshot, but I'm about to move on over. I don't know where I'm moving on over to, but I'm moving. Kwando, I do apologize. I said I would make it bigger and then I didn't, and I only realized later. So I apologize. I didn't make it bigger. Yes, some of them were too. Right. So let us have a look at some more, excuse me, some more examples. So guys, like I was saying at the beginning, another rate type of question that we love to ask is speed, distance, time questions. Now, there's a little No, I'll come to that now in a second. So let's read this example first. A car travels 150 kilometers in 2.5 hours. What speed did it travel at? Now, what we need to take away from this is that, like I've told you, speed is a rate. Speed, unless we tell you otherwise, is kilometers per hour. This is a rate. Now, remember, this is giving us a clue of what we need to do. This is telling me to take kilometers and divide it by the hours. So this is telling me to take my 150 kilometers and divide it by 2.5 hours. That's what it's asking me to do in order to find the speed. So 150 divided by 2.5 gives us 60 kilometers per hour. That is what speed is doing. It's kilometers per hour. It's telling me to divide the kilometers by the hours. Now we want to be able to remember this. So there is a way for us to remember this with a little triangle, with a triangle. So I don't know how many of you have seen this before, but essentially this triangle allows us to find either speed, the distance, or the time of anything that we want. So if we start with speed, we have just said that speed is calculated by saying distance divided by time. And essentially what this triangle allows me to do is figure out what operation I'm working with. So this horizontal line here is a division. So that means if, like I say, I want speed, I am looking at a distance divided by time. Let's do this, equals distance over time. If I wanted time, I'm looking at distance over speed because of that division. Time is equal to distance over speed. The vertical line at the bottom, so this line down here represents multiplication. So if I'm looking to work out the distance of something, I'm going to say distance times distance is equal to speed times time. So all from this triangle, we are able to get 3 formulas essentially to work out either the speed, the distance, or the time of an object. Right, so we're not going to move on to this, the one I've typed here just yet. I want us to practice this idea and do another example like this. So I'm just going to take this out and we're going to do another one like this. Oh, come on. Technology in me. I drive 450 kilometers in trying to find something that's nice. In my maths is dodgy tonight.
What happened to you, Sam? We're getting there though.
Sorry, in 4.5 hours.
Yes. I drive 450 kilometers in 4.5 hours. Yes.
What speed did I travel at? Sorry, guys, my brain just stopped working. It just decided it was done. Okay.
I understand. It's close to the long holidays. Short holidays, actually, in your case.
Yeah. Okay, so Umfa, if you're a bit confused, listen up. We're going to do another example. So I've said I drive 450 kilometers. So this is your distance. It's how far you went. In 4.5 hours. So this is your time. I want to know the speed at which I traveled. So speed, remember, is distance divided by time. So that's what I want to do. I want to take the distance that I traveled, which is 450 kilometers, and I want to divide it by my time, which is 4.5. And that gives me in kilometers per hour, because remember that's what speed is. Whoops. 100 kilometers per hour. So the speed at which I traveled my 450 kilometers in was 100 kilometers per hour. Now I also could have done that using my triangle. I wanted speed. That's shocking. Let's try that nonsense again. I wanted my speed. Speed is here at the bottom of my triangle. So it's this little section here. And so my formula tells me to take the distance and divide it by the time, which is exactly what I did over here. So the triangle is just a useful tool to help us remember how to do these calculations. That's all it is. So you'll see now when we start looking for time, or when we start looking for distance, understanding the triangle is going to be helpful for us. Okay, so Umfa, you don't understand the triangle? That's cool. We're going to do a triangle example, or we're going to do an example now where we'll use the triangle to help us. Right, so guys, take a screenshot of those two, and then let's have a look at one where we can use the triangle to help us. Okay, I'm hoping you've got those screenshots. So let's just make, oh my, technology and me tonight are just fighting. Right, so the distance between town A and town B is 216 kilometers. So that information that I've given you there is a distance. It's how far. Offensive, why does this take me? Offensive rides their scooter at a speed, so I'm giving you speed, of 54 kilometers per hour. How long will it take? So I'm asking for a time to travel from town A to town B. So now, Umfa, this is where the triangle is useful to us. My triangle is speed, distance, time. And if I look at the information I have, I've got the distance and I've got the speed. So these two variables, I have that information. What I want is, yes, I'm losing my mind. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so glad that the speed, let me highlight S rather than T. What I want is time. So I want this time. According to my triangle, time is equal to distance divided by speed. And because I have both the distance and the speed, I can use that formula. So now I will take my distance of 216 kilometers and divide that by my speed of 54 kilometers per hour, according to my triangle. And that then gives me the time it takes to travel between these two towns. So this, as a lot of you are saying, gives me an answer of 4. Now, guys, remember, this isn't a speed. This is a time. Because remember, the question said how long, so it's time. So this is 4 hours that it takes me to travel between these two towns. It's not a speed, so there's no kilometers per hour. It is a time. Time is in hours, minutes, seconds, whatever the case is. So there shouldn't be per anything. Chat, you're saying kilometers, you're saying hours per kilometer. No, it is just 4 hours. I asked you for a time. Time is just hours. There's no per. Umfa, does that make a bit more sense now in terms of how we use the triangle? I'm hoping yes. If it isn't, though, we will do another example. We are going to do another example. And mostly just because I can't remember what I wrote down, I just quickly want to go grab the example here. is what happens when you can't remember all the numbers off by heart all the time. Alrighty, so let's have a look at another question where we use our triangle. So we'll leave that there. So it says the fastest an F1 car has ever driven is 350 kilometers per hour. That is the speed. How far? So now I'm asking you for the distance. That's how far. Could it travel in 3 hours? So that's my time at the same speed. So if we look at our triangle again, we've got speed, distance, time. I have given you certain information. Oh, come on. Yo, me and technology tonight. Sorry, grade 8s. I have given you the speed, the 350 kilometers per hour, and I've given you the time, the 3 hours. I am asking you to calculate for me the distance, how far. So according to my triangle, this formula to work out distance is equal to speed times time. So that's all I need to do, speed times time. My speed was 350 kilometers per hour. My time was 3 hours. And I multiply it together to get 1050. Now again, guys, this is a distance. Distance is in kilometers or in meters or in whatever. So this is just 1050 kilometers done. It is only speed that is kilometers per hour. So I'm just going to write this down for us. Distance will be in kilometers or meters or whatever. Time will be in hours or minutes or seconds. Generally, we don't go much more than that. Whereas speed is the rate. Speed is in kilometers per hour or meters per second or meters per minute, etc., etc. So speed is the only one that is a rate for us. Umfa, well done. Phumelela, well done. Okay, guys, I know this is a hard thing to understand because it's a lot of different things that we're trying to work out. But if you can remember this triangle, it really does help you. So I'm just going to make that a touch smaller in case you'd like to screenshot. You're going to see now your quiz link is going to appear magically on the chat there for you. So please make sure you do grab that quiz link. And then on Monday, we're going to have a look at proportion. Forgot what we were doing. Didn't Claire? We are. Remember, our lessons are only an hour. And I want to make sure that everyone is able to access that quiz. I know we've had a couple network issues, so I don't want to leave anyone unable to get the quiz.